and also the clinical lab, computer lab, adequate amount of books in their libraries, and also the journal. After these are the basic things. After that, they have to provide them with an internship to refine the clinical skills, and they have to allow them to do a hospital visit, industrial visit, and also workshop trainings. So they need to conduct a conference like that. And you just check on your website whether they are having the details of all these things in their website, and what are the faculties they are having. So mostly if you are going into an higher studies or a 12th standard students after completing his school, when you want to join an optometry course means the first thing you will check is the website. So the institute should have a proper website updated. And also in each institute they should have an alumni association, because that is the one thing which will connect the juniors with the seniors so that they can develop themselves based on the experience of their seniors. And also if possible they need to provide on campus interview and placement, and also the extracurricular activities. And the faculties they play an important role in the optometry system. So they are like a bridge between the institute and the students, so they will coordinate both the things. So they need to teach the student, optometry student, all the technical part and also the theoretical part. And there are different types of roles. The first one is they have to be motivating and also be a role model for them, and they should create an awareness to the students about the roles and responsibilities and also the scope of optometry. So based on that awareness only, the students they will create a passion for optometry, and they will try to develop themselves. And for students, they also has a part to do with this thing. So the first thing is they have to be proactive, and also they need to listen to the faculties and also abide by the university rules. And they have to have a goal what they have to become after studying the optometry. Then only they can serve the country well. And also they need to have a set of skills like communication skills, social skills, professional skills, like that. And the first thing they need to have is they need to learn how to mold themselves. uh, this is the thing what IOSA will be guiding you, because still most of the institutes they won't provide what I have told, and also they won't have adequate faculties, or there won't be any classes like that. So those students they should learn how to mold themselves into an optometrist. So that is the thing we will be dealing with. So why is a need for a new association? So if you see in India, there are almost 100 different types of associations just for optometry alone. So if you take Indian Optometry Federation, it is just like an umbrella. Under that, there will be only association, not an individual membership. So they will be dealing with the government laws and also the legal issues. So they will be guiding the optometrists, and also will be telling the government that this is what we are doing. And also for every health profession, there has to be a government council that only will regulate and recognize that particular profession. But if you come to optometry, there is no government council, so we didn't have any recognition, and also the regulation. Hello, am I audible? Hello,
Yes,
am I
sir, you are
audible?
audible. You can go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So what we have did is we created a private council to regulate the optometry. So after regulating, the government will realize that there is a type of this type of healthcare course that which is regulated. So we need to recognize that course. So in the recent healthcare bill, we have been recognized, but still we are not regulated. We have to work towards that. And also the Indian Optometric Association. So it is a national body association to standardize and regulate optometry. And there are so many state association in different states of India, and also the association school and colleges of optometry ASCO. It is created to standardize the education in optometry. But if you see all these associations and also the federation and council, they are just trying to regulate and also to update the practitioners, but none of them are focusing on the students. the students also having their own set of challenges and problems while studying in the institute or university. So the main aim of the Indian Optometry Student Association is to focus on the students and also their challenges, and we are going to address them. So let's clear about IOSA. So it will be a separate national body, just like an IOA or like a state body association. So just to empower and connect and support all the optometry students in India. So this idea it came from an faculty. So after that we have created a group of experts in our field, and also we are working towards the registration process. So you have to be clear that this is an initiative formed for the students and by the students. So there won't be any uh, like other association, they won't interfere in our thing. So we will be a separate body. Our vision is to reinforce the students to understand what is the current scope of optometry so that they can select which field they have to go. In the optometry itself, there are different types of fields, specialty fields, I mean. And also to create an awareness among the optometry students about the roles and responsibilities. Because without knowing their roles, they won't be like serving the community. After finishing an optometry, they will just go and join in an optical shop or just be a refractionist. They won't be an optometrist. So we will be creating an awareness. And also we will be enhancing their clinical skills and also guiding the students at a particular specialty field for to becoming a successful optometrist in the career. So our mission is to focus on students. So we will be supporting them, and also our main aim is to ensure that all the optometry students in the India in different states, whether they are getting a quality education, like a equal education, what they are getting for what they are paying, like that. So what will be the benefits for the students? So when a student gets joined into an IOSA, what will be their benefits? So they will be guided regarding their internship. So if you are going to do an external internship in different types of places, then we will be guiding which college or which hospitals are providing different types of internship and at what cost, and where you have to join, which one will be better, like that. And also if you are going to join into a higher studies, means whether you have to take a fellowship or master's or PhD or postgraduate, where you have to go and take the higher studies and how you need to process that. So there will be guidance on that. And also after we are finishing your courses, we will be dealing with providing you with the information on job opportunities and also the vacancy details. And while you are studying, we will be providing you with the study materials and also the resources what you are needed for your education. And if there is any conferences or webinars or continuing optometry education, we will be giving updates on them. And the main thing is we will address the student issues and challenges faced in the institute level. So that is the main benefit for all the students. So when you are a student having any particular problem, means if you are speaking in your institute or in your state, means then nobody will address that, or you will be cornered or you will be in trouble if you are talking alone. But if we address that as an association with 1,000+ members, then that issue will be addressed properly. And also we will be guiding you with the research work, and also we will be funding you for your research projects and also travel grants for so this is the flowchart of Indian Optometry Students Association. So this is how we will be working. So we have an advisory board. So this advisory board has a expert team. So they will be a faculties or educators or an optometry practitioner. They will just provide an idea or they will guide the IOSA but they won't interfere in our path. And we will have a president and two vice presidents, chief secretary and joint chief secretary, treasurer and an organizing secretary. So they will be on the national executive board. And there are 5 zones. We have divided all the states into 5 zones. So north, south, central, east, and west. So under each zone, there will be a zone representative. So if you are having any trouble, means you will be telling that to the state association. The state will be telling it to the national through this zone representatives. So each state will have a two vice president, general secretary, joint secretary, treasurer, and an organizing secretary. And from each college, 2 students can volunteer themselves for the IOSA position. So if you see, almost 700 members will be working together for this IOSA. So still we have not yet registered the IOSA. We are working towards that. So before creating an actual position for all the posts, we have created an interim body so that we can register for now. After that, there will be an regular election and thing. So these are the just a minute. Okay, so these are the vice presidents for different types of zone, general secretary and the joint secretary. So we have a team. So we are working towards that. Just a minute. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
I just had a call. So the membership details. So all the optometry students, they can join in the IOSA, but only 2 can represent each college. So that is the thing. So when it comes to a association, that needs to be a finance team also, because the association has to have its own office, and also there are other expenses like maintaining the website, and also we need to hire a auditor, and also we need to update the everything. So there will be some amount, because all the associations, they are charging a few amount for the students, but since this is only for the students, we are yet to decide at what amount. That will be soon announced. And also the IOSA, we are having a social media promotion right now. So if you are having any doubts, you can mail us at this iosa.officialportal@gmail.com. You can write to us, or you can even like in our Facebook page for more updates on IOSA. And we also have a Telegram group for each zone. So 5 Telegram groups for North, South, Central, and West and East. So you can join that. So you should have seen our registration form. You need to register in that form. Then we will be adding you in the respective Telegram groups. And also you need to share those things with your students and also friends and colleagues if they want to join in the IOSA. So thank you all. So a student should be like a seed. First itself I told. So with so much potential, they can grow themselves in wherever land they are. So don't worry if you're studying in an institute with poor infrastructure or without any faculties. We are there to guide you. So the first picture, it tells that it's a seed, sunflower seed, that get penetrated into the iris by a corneal penetration, and after a few months it started growing. So the optometry students are also should be like that. So don't worry that you have ended up in a college like that. So we will be there to guide you. Yeah. So I'm open to questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a clear explanation about IOSA. I hope all the students got clear here after this presentation. And that was a wonderful example you gave at the last of that PPT. As an optometry, I think we should think beyond the level, like as you related this seed with dye stylus and the iPad. So that was wonderful. So I think we'll take over some questions. Here we have some questions in the chat box. Can we
Yeah,
discuss
sure.
it? Okay, just a minute.
Come. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, sir. Just a minute.
Okay.
So first question, here we go with first question. So first question was asked by Ravina Nara. She's asking that IOSA, is it possible to follow same syllabus and pattern, of course, all over India?
Okay. So there's already a syllabus which is framed by the ASCO. So they have given the minimum optometry curriculum, and they can tell the universities to follow that. But it's up to the universities; they can decide whether to follow it or not. But once if you have a government council just for optometry, then it can all be regulated in like equal in all the places.
Actually, the thing is that hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir, totally you are.
Okay, so the thing is that UGC have framed a syllabus for optometry that has to be followed by each and every university in India. But since there is no any council to regulate it, that whether some university is following it or not, or the syllabus that has been framed by the UGC is being completed in the colleges or not, or is being followed or not. So there is no any council that can monitor. Like for the MBBS students, there is MCI, Medical Council of India. They monitor it on a regular basis whether the colleges are following the UGC guidelines or the other national guidelines or not. But we unfortunately don't have any council for that. So yes, if IOSA gets registered, we will be able to have a dialogue with the government machineries that such and such colleges are practicing such and such wrong methods, or they are not abiding with the guidelines of the UGC. So yes, we can do that once we are registered.
Okay, thank you, sir. I hope that answers you, Ravina. So next question is also again by Ravina. She's asking, can Optum students, M-Optum students can also join IOSA? Hello? Hello, Mohan sir?
Yes, any student can join IOSA. If
Yeah.
anyone who is a optometry student currently studying in any optometry college in India, they can join IOSA.
Okay, thank you, sir. So we have next question, which is from Mayank Chabra. He's asking how an private association can interfere in optometry course related issue in government institute. Hello?
Okay, so private association, like who is private association? Is it is it about IOSA?
Yeah, I guess he's asking about IOSA.
Okay, so
Please.
IOSA is not going to be a private association. Once it is registered under the Societies Act of Government of India, it will become a government council, just like MCI. MCI is not a private association. Similarly, IOSA will also not be a private association. OCI and IOA, OCI is actually, its name is Optometry Council of India, but it's not the council. Council is something that is found by the government, right? So it's a misnomer actually. So just like IOA, IAO, IOF, so they all are associations registered under the Societies Act of India. So if you are registered under the Societies Act of India, that is again under the some specific ministries of India, like if it is about the environmental issues, then it is under the Ministry of Environment. If it is related with the educational issues, then it is registered under the Ministry of HRD. So these associations which are registered under the Societies Act of India, soon we are going to be registered under the Societies Act of India. Our IOSA is also going to be registered, so we can obviously interfere, whether be it a government college or private college. If our issues are genuine, the problems are genuine, anybody can interfere, even an individual. And you are asking about private association. Yes, even if a private association can also ask question to any government machinery, because the government machineries are not someone's private property. Government machineries are running on the taxpayers' money, so they are answerable to anyone if the question and issue is genuine.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Adding
I
to
hope
that,
this answers you, Mayank
yeah,
Chabra. Yes, sir.
adding
Yes,
to
sir.
that, if you even look into MCA back, history says it was a private body before. Fine. So it is like once you start to regulate, if you look into any body, I'm not just telling with restricting to one. If you just look into anything, government won't take us first step. So we, as a practitioner, as a professional, we take a step. So then we get a recognition from the government. Fine.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I hope this all answers you, Mayank Chabra. Thank you for that query. So next query we have from Muzammil Sher. He's asking, can you please tell us the role of respective members, like role of vice president of respective zone? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, all the roles and responsibilities are in the objectives and bylaws. We will be sharing that soon. So you can refer that.
Okay, thank you, sir. So there are no more queries in the chat box. Yes, I think one just came. It's from Mohit Agarwal. He's asking, but if government college refuses to interfere of IOSA in student problem, then what?
Actually, that's where the function of IOSA comes. Actually, so once we are registered under the Societies Act and of Government of India, we can have dialogues with the government authorities directly, like the president of IOSA or the general secretary or anyone who will be given the charge of for that particular issue, can talk to the government authorities, or they can put up RTIs, they can take the thing to media, they can take the thing to court. So whatever steps are necessary, it can be taken once it is registered. Then the government colleges, they will be bound to reply if there is an RTI or PIL, or there is a court notice, there is a FIR, there is a proceeding that has been done. Provided the issue is genuine, there has been, it's not like that we are going to do such and such things like court case or FIR or RTI or PIL. But if necessary, that if we find that the students are suffering, their careers are suffering, some inhuman act or some ethically wrong things are being practiced while students are suffering, the profession is going to suffer for that, yes, we can go to any extent, whichever will be required.
Yes, to just to add, I think any of college, doesn't matter private or government or whatever, if they are doing that work properly, I don't think so they will refuse to do. To community, I think surely they will have the problem. So it's not only about government college, I think. I hope this answers you, Mohit Agarwal. Thank you for that query. So next question we have from Neha Bhardwaj. She is asking, our university is not following any UGC guidelines, as our university doesn't allow its interns to pursue internship from other college and hospitals, as well as we are not getting stipend in our internship. What help we can expect from IOSA regarding this topic? Hello, Rashid sir.
Which college it is? Which university it is?
I think she didn't mention any university.
It's PGIMS Rohtak, sir.
Can you repeat?
It is PGI Rohtak. Okay, got it. So,
Okay.
see, if a university doesn't allow you to do pursue internship from other college and hospital, it is the university or the college HOD's decision. Like, they can decide whether they want their interns to go out pursue internship from somewhere else, or there is sufficient learning opportunity in the current institute, so the interns don't have to go. Generally, the practice should be like that only. The interns, it should not be like that. It should not be like that the students are studying for 3 years in a college and then they are going for internship to some other institute. It's a wrong practice that is happening actually. The right practice that should happen is every college or every institute should have sufficient learning opportunity in their own institute so that their interns don't have to go to somewhere else. So, what was your question? Getting a stipend, again it comes to the policy of the university and college. Obviously you can ask for stipend, you can ask for better opportunities, but again it comes under, it's totally up to the university and the policy makers, whether it is that university is under the state or central. If it is a central university, then the HRD ministry will make the policy, or the health ministry, and if it is under state, then the state authorities, the state ministries will take care of it. But again, these are it will again be a chain like thing. Like uh, it may spread through word of mouth. If you know 10 students from 10 different colleges, you may talk to them, you may tell them about IOSA, and we will be conducting some kind of social media promotions or through Facebook, Instagram. So with those social media promotions as well, we will get to uh, we will get highlighted to the students, as well as we will hold up small activities time to time to connect with the students. And we have like some strategies that are being formed right now, and you may also give your own suggestions, your own valuable in, any idea that you have in your mind. So we all will be helping each other. You all are part of IOSA, so it's now it's not only the responsibility of the governing body, the president or general secretary or joint secretary. It's the responsibility of each and every member to spread the concept of IOSA, to spread the message of IOSA, so that more and more students join IOSA and it gets strengthened so well that we can create a momentum that no any university or college can defy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So here we have one message from Ravina Nara. She's saying, thank you, sir. We are ready for every contribution possible from our side. Thank you, Ravina, for that sweet message.
And also, Uma, I just want to add one more thing.
Yes, sir.
So once the IOSA gets registered, we will be talking to all the institutes and college officially, and we will ask them to inform the students about IOSA and to let them join in. So you see, a normal a college institute who is practicing legally or ethically, they will allow the students to join in IOSA. But the students who are in a poor institute, they can send their queries in our mail. Then we will address that issue. So that's the one.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So one more message we have from Mohit Agarwal. He's thanking us. He's saying that thank you, sir, student of AIMS. Rishikesh gives every possible contribution. Thank you, Mohit. So I think we don't have any messages now. We'll wait for 1 minute and then we'll wind up the meeting. Meanwhile, guys, if you have any queries, just type it down in the chat box.
Till then, I would like to say something.
Yes, sir, sure.
I would like to request each and every member, like being a member, I request you to take it as your moral responsibility or moral obligation that at least you talk to 10 students who don't know about IOSA. Each and every member, please talk to 10 students who don't know about IOSA. If you can do this, like it will be enough contribution as of now. Like if you just spread the message or concept of IOSA to 10 students from 10 different colleges, it will be more than sufficient contribution as a member. So we request each and every member to contribute as much as you can. Currently, this is what contribution we need from your side. Talk to as many students as you can and help them to join the Telegram group or help them to find our Facebook page, help them to connect with the vice president of that zone so that the association gets strengthened and the association can serve you better and more efficiently.
Thank you, sir. We don't find more messages in the chat box. I would like to thank each and every students or members who have joined in this meeting. Thank you for taking your time and joining this meeting. So I will hand over this to Mohan sir for the thanks of vote of thanks. Up to you, Mohan sir.
Yes, thanks, Uma. So I just want to thank everyone for attending today's North Zone IOSA meeting. And also we are going to have a regular zone-wise meeting in the upcoming week. And also we will be having a national meet. So we just want you all to convey the message of IOSA to your every known friends and colleagues so that the IOSA gets strengthened. So meet you all in the next national meeting. Yeah, thank you all.
Hello, Mohan sir. We are not able to hear you.
Hello? So you didn't hear
Yeah.
me?
Yes, sir. You're audible now. No.
Oh, okay, sorry. So
We just
actually, I
lost
just
you
want to
for
thank.
1 minute.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just want to thank everyone for joining today's North Zone IOSA meeting, and also we will be having a zone-wise meeting for South, East, and Central West Zone, and also we will be having a national zone meeting. So I just requesting all the members to spread the words of IOSA to your every known student, friends, and colleagues, so that association gets strengthened. And also meet you all in the national meeting. Yeah,
And
thank you.
if anyone wants to know more about that, in case they can attend the meetings in the upcoming days with other zones as well, so that the students or any of your friends who had missed this, they want to know about this, they can join over there as well.
Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank Mohan sir and Rashid sir and Siddharth sir for taking their time and joining this meeting. Thank you.